But for all we know, other Democratic senators could be considering the very same fate and doing the very same thing. I'm telling you, my friends, this thing is going to happen. Healthcare reform is going to happen, probably without a public option, but still big, and I suspect still soon. And the departure of Senators Dodd and Dorgan didn't push it off. Take a look at all of these meetings. I think it just sped it up. So we've gone from trying to win to nothing to lose. The cause trumps the candidate or the candidates. And Jane Hampton Cook says historically a departing politician is always emboldened in his or her agenda. Jane is an historian and author of Battlefields and Blessings. Jane, Happy New Year to you. Good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me, Neil.
What do you make of it, Jane? I guess they figure now we don't have to maybe pamby around and figure what our constituents want. We're out of here now, so let's go back to our DNA and our cause, essentially.
That's right. I mean, elections equals accountability, which is the cornerstone of how our government works. And when an elected official no longer has an election to look forward to, he doesn't have to ask for money. He doesn't have to ask for votes. He or she, they're free to pursue what they want to pursue without that accountability. And I think that's what you're seeing here in these decisions not to run again.
All right, do you think others there in these meetings, not necessarily with the House leadership meeting today, because these are senators involved, but others are saying, we don't want to walk that same plank you just did. So in a weird way, both of these senators' departure will hold them back.
Well, it could. It could also be that they could become more of the voice and face of some, maybe the more unpopular pieces of this in terms of talking about it publicly. Maybe, maybe not. But, it's interesting how when an elected official has nothing to lose, they often go for what they are most passionate about and what they most want to see. I mean, John Adams did that when he had nothing to lose. He appointed 40 judges to the federal judiciary, and that set policy for 20 years from the bench. So it's interesting, what a politician can do when he or she doesn't have an election to look forward to.
Jen, I'm wondering if it's wider and larger than that, as you've taught me in the past or prior visits, that it is distinctly possible that a lot of Democrats have feeling that they might not do well in the elections later this year, and that they're going to go out on a sword. You know what I mean? And that this is their sword. This is their cause. Healthcare and something big will be their imprint. What do you think?
Well, I think that's true. I mean, I think that often if there's an issue that a politician is very passionate about, they will die on their sword for it, even if it costs, them their political career. But, sometimes, too, it's just a matter of, that tension between principle and politics and what's best for the party in this case or not. And I think that, again, the elections are the accountability in our system. And when you have 50% of the American people now saying in polls that they don't want this piece of legislation, then you are going to die on your sword potentially if you continue to support it.
Interesting stuff, as always, Jane. Look forward to chatting with you many more times this year. Jane Hampton Cook, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, if